All right, good afternoon, coaches. This is Coach Teague, and I'm coming to you this afternoon with another in my series on Rebuilding 101, where we take a look at all facets and aspects of rebuilding programs. In today's video, we're going to take a look at scheduling. Before I go any further, I want to take a minute to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel for tuning in and checking out my content and giving me great feedback on the things that I've put out. But if it's your first time here, I ask you to hit that subscribe button for more content that I'm going to put out in relation to schematics, program rebuilding, and the like. Before I also go any further, I want to apologize for any outside noise you may hear where I'm recording at today. There's some traffic coming by and you may hear some engines or whatever in the distance. Just please do me a favor and just overlook that. All right, let's delve right into it. So when I talk about scheduling, I want to explain exactly what I'm talking about. Number one, when you take over a program for the first time that has been down on his luck or needs that shot in the arm from being up for a while, you first have to assess your program. That goes without saying. You have to look at the type of kids you have, the culture that's already there, and let that guide you when it comes to your scheduling. The scheduling I'm referring to is typically your non-district schedule. These are typically like the first 4 to 5 games of the season before you delve into the heart of your district schedule, which many times plays a significant role in playoff seeding or whether you even get to the playoffs or not. Now, when you're taking over a program, you have to be very strategic in how you schedule, because one of the most important factors is where do you come in as head coach in that scheduling cycle. In my experience, most scheduling cycles are 2 years. So when you come in, are you coming in where the schedule has already been set for the next 2 years and you just have to ride out what you have? Or are you coming in the middle where you have to ride out one more year and you get to put your claim on how your schedule is the following year? Or if you're extremely lucky, you're coming in at the beginning of a new scheduling cycle where you get to make your non-district schedule. And that's really, really important because in today's video, we're going to look at scheduling weak versus scheduling hard and the pros and cons of both. All right, let's look at scheduling weak first and the pros of scheduling weak. When you come into a situation where like most programs that need to be rebuilt, confidence is low, morale is low. So scheduling weak has an opportunity to really just boost your team's morale. You're already coming in as a new head coach, new energy, new life. And what better way to enhance that than to put the kids out in the field, play a non-district schedule that's a little bit weaker than what you normally would play in your district, and give your kids a chance to compete. Okay, you give your kids a chance to compete. Let them know what it feels like to win, because that's probably the biggest thing. You have to teach kids who haven't won how to win. Okay, and in the process of doing that, when you schedule weak, you also boost the morale of the football team, and you will see it materialize in other areas such as the weight room, the classroom. There's a certain air about them. Their confidence is higher. The morale of the school is better. And you're playing against teams that your kids are probably, not so much familiar with, but it gives them an opportunity to see that ball move, to see them fly around and be able to do all the things that teams who are defeating them are able to do. You also get an increase in student support because, high school kids are fickle. They want to win. They want to see winning. It increases their support. Now, let's look at the cons of scheduling weak. One of the first cons that you can make when scheduling weak non-district is scheduling too weak. You don't want to give your kids a sense of accomplishment that is false, giving them a false sense of success. You want to put your team out there against a team that, you have a chance to win, but it's going to give you some competition. You don't want to go out there with a roster of, 60, 65 kids and you're playing teams that barely have 25 kids. Number one, that's not fair to that team that you're scheduling because they're going through what you're going through more than likely. So you have to be very strategic about that as well. Another con to scheduling week, if your kids get out there and they start seeing that early success, it can bring complacency in practice, complacency in the classroom, because when kids haven't been winning and they get a taste of it, they haven't been used to what it takes to sustain that. So you have to guard against complacency. All right. And probably the last big con against scheduling week is the fact that when you get into your district schedule and your kids haven't had a taste of, playing someone tougher, and it's been very easy for them, they will fall right back into that same rut when they play their first district game and they're not battle tested or ready to match up against someone that's a lot tougher than what they have seen in their non-district schedule. So those are the pros and cons of scheduling week prior to your district schedule. Now let's take a moment and I want to talk about scheduling hard, because there are some coaches who believe, man, you just come out of the gate, that shock treatment of, man, we're going to line up, put the ball down, we're going to play against anybody. So let's look at the pros of it first. I think before I get into the pros, one of the things you have to think about when you're scheduling tough in non-district, this tends to be more in tune with programs who haven't had a long, not long, but maybe a lot of years of lack of success. A program that is usually a playoff contender, or a program that's, 500 or a little better every year, and has just fallen on some bad luck. Maybe, high school football is very cyclical, and maybe they've been on a 4-year run of just a group of kids that have come in and has not been as competitive as they have been in the past, and just need to give that shot in the arm and ride it through. So scheduling tough for a school like that is typical when you want to give, you're right there. It's just that you need a quick little shot in the arm. The kids can handle it, and based on the culture of your school, of your program rather, that it's going to carry over in the district, and it's not gonna hinder you when you get ready to go into district play. Another positive out of scheduling tougher in district is the fact that now it's akin to being in practice and ones going against ones. So when you step into your district schedule, because you've played competent competition in your non-district, you're going to see a lot more crisp execution when you go to district, because you have had non-district to work those kinks out, and you've done it against competent competition. Now, the cons, in my opinion, for scheduling tough non-district are injuries. If you step on that side of, well, we're going to go out there, we're going to schedule tough, and you're a program that is low on numbers or don't have a lot of depth, you do risk the chance of injuries when you play a non-district schedule. I've had that happen to me with playing a non-district schedule that was a lot tougher than I assumed it would be. But injuries happen. We don't want them to happen, but it's a part of the game. So that's something you have to weigh, but you can't allow that to weigh and factor into how you actually schedule if you're going to schedule tough. What you also run into, a con of scheduling tough, is that if your team is not built for a tough non-district schedule, and when it's time for district, you get in there and realize, we're not winning. It's not happening. I've had that happen before. I scheduled 2 week once, and kids got a false sense of hope. We got into district and we lost every district game. And the kids carried the vibe of, well, you know what? It's the same old, same old. We haven't really accomplished anything. And it made them feel as though all that success was for nothing. And I vowed never to do that again. Do my homework, do a better job of understanding my program and my players. So in closing, coaches, when you take over a program and you're rebuilding it, think about what kids you have, the culture that's there, and the components that are in place that will help you when it's time to schedule. It's not an exact science, but I hope what I brought here with you tonight, or this evening rather, are some helpful hints that are going to guide you in that direction when it's time to set your schedule, or when you take those calls for scheduling, because I can promise you, coaches aren't calling you because they think they're going to lose. They're calling you because they think they have a chance to win. All right, this is Coach Teague. This was another episode of Rebuilding 101. Again, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. If you look down in the description box, it will give you areas where you can reach me via Twitter, my consulting website, and other areas on social media where you can find me. Talk to you later.